In this video, we're going to look at a question that was posted. What the student asked was, how do I write a program that prompts the user for a string, for example, enter text CSC 101 Java course, then prompts the user for an integer, 7, then prompts the user for a length, 4, and then prints out the result, which is the word Java. Now we can see here that the word Java is in our original string, so the question is, how does the program grab that section of the string? So there's two things we need to make sure we understand to do this problem. The first idea we need to make sure we understand has to do with strings. So there are two things we want to think of when we think of a string. We want to think about the length, that is how many letters are in it, including spaces, and we want to think about the indexes. The indexes always start at 0 and they go to the length minus 1. So the first C here would have an index of 0, the S would have an index of 1, the C would have an index of 2, the 1 would have an index of 3. The indexes are how we access specific letters or characters within a string. This idea is also really important when working with arrays, so keep that in the back of your mind. The second idea we need to be sure we look at is string methods. So Java has a variety of built-in methods, and there are lots that are available for us to use when we want to manipulate strings. So let me pull up the string class here for us. So here's the string class. You can find it by going online and doing a Google search for Java strings 8 or whatever, something along those lines. It doesn't matter if you get an earlier version of Java, but the most recent version is 8, and the interface is a little nicer here. So these are all the different methods. There's no way you're going to memorize them, so don't bother trying. There's a couple you'll memorize in time. The one that we're going to use today will be a regular one you use. But the key thing you want to make sure you understand is, how do I read this documentation, and how do I find the one that I want? So I'm going to tell you, we want to use this one called substring. So when we read this documentation, we want to look at the name, substring. We want to know what it takes. It takes two integers, beginning index and ending index. And we want to know the type that's returned. So this returns a string. When I click on the actual name of the method, it will jump down to sometimes some examples. So here's an example of its use. Hamburger.substring48 returns URGE. So the way this works is substring with two parameters. The first parameter indicates the starting index. The second parameter indicates one past the last index. So if we look, H is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go to 4 and up to but not including 8. 5, 6, 7. The R is an index 8, so we don't grab it. So that is what we grab, URGE. One nice thing to note about the substring method is that if you take the difference between the second parameter and the first parameter, you'll get the length of the resulting string that's returned. Let's look at this one, smiles.substring15. 0, 1, so we're going to start by including the M. 2, 3, 4, and we're not going to include the 5, so we get MILE, which is 4 letters, and 5 minus 1 is 4. This substring version works as an inclusive, exclusive. So now if I come back here to my code, you'll see first thing I have is some variables. So this is the scanner object used to take inputs. I'd be careful with this. It works in this case, but it gets a little funny when you're taking inputs using the scanner objects when there's spaces inside the lines, inside the strings. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. This is going to store the inputted word. This is going to store the resulting word, resulting string. This is going to store the starting index. And this is going to store the length of the resulting word. So there's our prompt, enter text. There's our input. There's our prompt, enter starting index. There's our input line using the scanner method nextInt. There's our prompt. There's our input. And so to calculate the result, we say result is equal to word.substring You go from the starting index to the starting index plus the length, and that will spit out the resulting value, which in this case is Java. So if I run this, I go CSC 111 space Java course 7 and to the length 4, I get Java. If I run this, I go CSC 111 Java course index, let's index 2, and let's do a length of 2, sorry. So if we look at CSC 0, 1, 2, so we're going to start the C, and we're going to get C1. C1. I hope this video helped. Have a wonderful day.